All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Hopefully, you can hear me well this time because I'm using headset. Well, not headset, but you get the point. Anyway, I hope it works now. So, yeah, let's get started. So, today I want to talk about different things related to Terraform AWS modules and specifically fix few issues related to some of modules. So to make it more interesting, very low volume. Cool, thanks for feedback. How about now? Can you hear now? Now it's maximum volume. It should be better. Please tell me if you don't hear me. Okay. Can you hear me? Well, please confirm. Better. Okay, cool. Better means perfect. Okay, maybe I can do it like this. Anyway, that's all what I can do right now without too much interruption. So, as I said, what I'm going to do today, Terraform AWS modules were picked during a couple votings which I organized on YouTube. Let me just share my screen, and it will be better than watching just my face. Okay. So first of all, thanks a lot to sponsors. AMP0 is a tool which allows us now to be able to do similar things what we do with Atlantis, literally by verifying our infrastructure as code through pull request. So we open pull request, we do code review, and we don't want to execute this code in our head. That's why we tell AMP0 to run this. It's quite easy to get it up and running. There is blog post about it. In essence, you open pull request and then AMP0 will execute it, and AMP0 will put comment. Well, it's pretty hard to see here in this screen, but the point is that the comment will contain what plan is about to do, what kind of resources are about to change, and so on. So please go to m0.com/Anton and yeah, give it a try. This feature is free, as well as getting started with M0 is free. So let's move on to another thing. Okay, I said that I asked a few people actually voted. I was really surprised because I thought that nobody votes on YouTube, but well, there are a lot of people, like 24 votes. And the question which I asked was actually related to what you guys want to have or what you want to learn during these live streams. I have plenty of options. As you imagine, there are a lot of issues in Terraform AWS modules, which, well, I can go through and I can fix some of them in real time. But also I was really wondering if there will be enough amount of people who said that, oh yeah, work on something very new and potentially insanely cool. And well, that's the thing. I can explain the story. On YouTube, you can put and you can write long answer. So I put a lot of words like potentially, insanely cool, and that's why there are 38% people voted. While I put the same voting on LinkedIn, there is a limit of just 30 characters per answer. That's why I removed word potentially. And very few people said that something very new and insanely cool. Well, we are not convinced, so they didn't give their voice to this. But a large amount of people voted for Terraform AWS modules, so that's why it is there. Just to explain what exactly something very new and insanely cool, I can tell you that this is something what many people were asking, and still there is no solution as far as I can tell. It's related to Terraform Cost Estimation, but on slightly different level. Because, well, you probably saw terraformcostestimation.com, where you can put your Terraform state file or Terraform plan file, which you can get using these commands, and you can put it here. Also, you can use just normal curl and well, curl looks like this, that you have your Terraform state or plan file, and then you just submit or post your data into this endpoint cost.modules.tf, and you get answer back what exactly does it cost. Well, one part of me wanted to continue to develop this, but on slightly different level with a lot more cool things. And well, you didn't vote on that, so we will be fixing Terraform AWS modules instead. But that's okay, there are still a lot of fun related to that. And again, few people know what is modules.tf and serverless.tf, so maybe you are not very much excited, but again, I'm very excited with those two projects. So at some point I will continue working on this, working in public and doing something cool. If you want to propose something about this cool or insanely cool, please let me know. Okay, so that's about voting. So again, thanks for all of this 153 votes. It was really cool to see that people actually react on this. So I will probably ask a little bit more next time. Well, and another thing which I'm again surprised is that I was probably pulled into LinkedIn ranking machine somehow. So when I wrote 1 week ago that, hey, I have passed AWS Certified Security Specialty exam, I did not anticipate 521 likes from people like from all over my LinkedIn, and 40,000 of views on this feed. What's really interesting is that there were 524 people from AWS, and as I can see, not all of them put likes here. So 3 people less. Well, AWS guys, please do this. Anyway, let's move on. And yeah, this exam, some people asked how did I prepare for it. A Cloud Guru is the resource which I was using. I watched like 50 to 70% of video materials there, and then clicked in documentation in console for a couple hours before the certification. And yeah, I was really surprised to have 914 score. Well, it's probably good. Anyway, let's move on to other things. So as you probably remember, a couple days ago Terraform 0.14 was released, and well, if you are too optimistic and you want to try 0.14 for, well, I don't actually have any blocker or any reason why you should try 0.14 immediately. It does not bring so much new stuff as, let's say, 0.12 had or 0.13 had. So if you can, I would not recommend to upgrade just yet, because, well, there are a lot of issues already. As you can see, 2 minutes ago, 33 minutes ago, people are opening issues all over. So some of these issues are rather critical, I would say. Some challenges related to, yeah, to this one which Kyle opened. For example, if you had lifecycle, I hope you can see it. If you had lifecycle ignore changes and then you had some things, then it's not gonna to be respected, and this seems to be very critical for some people, because in some cases it will just try to recreate a lot of resources, and obviously you don't want to recreate this. So 21 upvote on that one, well, 22, because I feel this is really critical. And you can see that some people are saying like, well, we are very much affected by this and it's problem. But well, that's how first release of any major version is happening. So I would recommend to upgrade when it's 0.14.1 or 2 or 3, but not 0, because today when I will be fixing some issues, I will be using this version. But if there will be something what is breaking, then I will not hesitate to revert version and use 0.13, just because it's not quite there yet. And again, as always, make sure that you read issues before, because maybe there are some very bad things specifically affecting you. Okay, so let's move on to something else, and something else will be, let's say, what is it? Yeah, right. I want to make an announcement that next episode I don't have to make a vote, because there will be already a known person. It's going to be Sebastian Hoffman. Well, I don't have announcement anywhere here, but you can go to Terraform CDK, and he is the guy who is developing it. So he will join me, and we will talk about Terraform CDK. And if you have any questions, or if you want to ask, please feel free to join. And I think it will be interesting discussion, because at least to my understanding is that we have way too many tools already, and it's not a problem of tools itself, but it's sometimes, at least for me, it seems like I need to understand whether this tool is going to be developing in right direction or not. Should I even look at it or not? So I have a lot of questions to Sebastian, and I'm sure that some of you who use Terraform, or then looked into Pulumi, or then earlier this week you've heard about AWS announcing AWS Proton, and it's already confusing. It's confusing like hell to me. And I can imagine that many people are also thinking like, well, what does it all mean for us? So let's have Sebastian with us, and we'll hear from him what's his opinion and what's the future of this project. He is a very experienced guy in developing, well, I forgot the name of his previous project, where he generate code for Terraform. So he knows this area quite well. Okay, so, and the last announcements which I want to make just before going to Terraform AWS modules development is HashiTalks 2021. So the call for paper is still open. So you can go to this URL, I will put it in description, and you can just submit your proposal and describe what kind of cool things you want to share with the community. It's going to be 24 hours event, so we will have approximately 45 talks, well, not 48, but 45 talks about different things from the community. And yeah, feel free to submit something. I'm sure that you have something to share. If you don't have anything to share, you can always join 1 or 2 or 10 HashiCorp user groups around the world, and you will be able to learn from them as well. Okay, cool. Well, I didn't know that there is anything inside of middle of Australia until I see this map now. Okay, I thought there is a giant desert. Okay, that's me learning something new in real life. So let's move on to the development. Okay, and as I said earlier, please feel free to, well, that's the wrong story. Here is it. Please feel free to write in comments which issue you want to fix. Today I have prepared few issues which I want to go through, but I'm quite sure that you guys have some else in your backlog, so please let me know. So the first issue which I have picked up is related to fixed policy counter, and as you may know that inside of Terraform AWS module and in few other places like security group module, there is number of variable. And the reason for that variable was that when we had, let's say, so here is a real code. So when I write something like this, when I want to create this resource and I want to create from 0 to several resources, I can put it into count. But previously in Terraform 0.11, of course, and then 12 until certain version, it was not possible to write something like length and then from var, because if this variable contain information about something what has not been created yet, it will simply fail with an error saying that cannot use computed values inside count or something like that. And after small investigation, well, I said that it's not gonna to work because you cannot reference computed values. And then huge experts in Terraform like Lauren Gordon, who is watching closely to Terraform AWS modules, he said that, oh no, that's not actually the case anymore, because we can use some computed and dynamic values inside of count. It will be working just fine. And the thing is that this has been changed in some version of Terraform, but none of us actually understand which version it has changed or what exactly has been updated. So then there is another guy who said that, okay, here is pull request which makes this to work for two people. So for two group of people. First group of people is, okay, I can close this one. So here is first group of people say that they already specify number of something, then we will be respecting this value. And those who don't specify number of role policy IRNs, then we will take count from this value and it will be working just fine. So this way, again, the point of Terraform AWS modules is that we always take into account backward compatibility. We cannot just say, oh, sorry guys, we made a mistake, and from now on you have to update your code just because we are lazy to think about how to solve it in a better way. So this pull request is pretty good, and I think I will be able to merge it right away. Well, what I mean by that is that I need to check out this code, and let's go to the code. Cool. Here is it. Please let me know if you cannot read it, because I changed background as some people asked to make it light background, but I couldn't figure out how to change background on the left side. So now it looks like Christmas tree already with mixed colors, but well, I don't know about you, but I already have Christmas tree at home for more than a week. So yeah, that's how we do it in Norway. So let's move on. I need to check out pull request, and pull request was number 119. So to do that, I just checked it out. So let's see what is. It was about IAM assumable role with OEDC. So this example, assumable role with OEDC. Here is this awesome piece of code, and let's think for a second how this can be simplified even more. Well, let me say how this can be written alternatively, not simplifying. Okay, so first let's duplicate this line and just say that all we want to do is that we want to take into account two values. So the first one which comes to my mind is that we want to use, when we use null, then there is function coalesce. Okay. Every time when I pronounce it, people who speak English natively, they laugh. So yes, one more time, coalesce. Okay. So when we say that this is going to be, let's say, null, then this will be ignored, and then this one will be used. So it will be empty, and this will be 5, for example. Cool, cool. Short term, well, probably short term. How else it can be written? I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of try, but try sometimes allows you to catch exceptions. So if there will be some exception within evaluation of any of this expression, Terraform will simply skip this one and will continue to execute second variable. In this case, it's a little bit, it's just strange, I would say. Well, what else can be done? Try as possible, but I don't think it's really an elegant solution here. What if we use something like max, and then we say that, okay, this is null. Well, again, from null to integer, I have no clue how is it going to be evaluated, because max and min obviously prefer to work with numbers. So maybe it's going to fail if first element is null. And I can see in changelog that Terraform has like there were some issues with these functions in the past, in not very not very long time ago, I would say. Okay, so let's stop this optimization just because it's going to be taking a lot of time. I like Koleski much more because it's just shorter, and the point is that, hey, tell me the first one which is not empty. That's exactly what we want. So Koleski will skip null as well as zeros, I guess, right? Well, anyway, it will ignore null. So that's what we want. So if I go to examples, I am assumable role with OEDC, and I see that something has changed. Let's see what is inside of example. Well, example is empty, so example does not contain a number of role policy IRNs. Okay, so what it means? Okay, it says null by default, which is probably okay. So here what we want to say is that if I now run Terraform apply, well, the best solution for these problems is just remove well, of course I need to run init. The error here was related to another version of Terraform AWS provider, which was used, but now from 0.13 I need to now it's 0.5, so it's okay. So let's see. As you can see, I'm using 0.14, so there is a file called .terraform log.hcl, which we'll look in a second. Let's see what's happening here. Well, we are creating one role with one policy attachment, and that's pretty much all I wanted, right? So let's create it. That's one of the reasons why I like to work on this kind of resource modules, is that it's very fast to execute. I don't have to wait for lots of things to happen. Okay, so what I want to try now is how this behavior will change if I suddenly provide the value, and I want to say that it's 1. So in fact, it's already a length of this role policy I ran. So what I expect no changes to happen. Let's see. Again, no changes, because that's how it is. What if I provide 2? Well, what if I provide -1, -2? Well, what I can think of, well, it will be just fail, because the count should be positive number, right? Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. So what if I just specify null here? That's the last thing which I want to check, because this is already default value, so it shouldn't be any changes, any significant change here. So again, it works. Cool. So then there is everything fine with this case. I can just click destroy, and well, let's take a look into this Terraform log HCL file. So this file contains information about which version of which provider is used. As you can see, it's rather encrypted things. Well, I don't actually know what is all of this means in terms. I thought that there are only one line, because this is hash of specific version which I'm using here. So which means that if I'm gonna to change content and release the same version, it will just fail. But as I have discovered recently inside of Terraform issues for 0.14, well, it doesn't take into account platforms. So my version on Mac and someone who's using the same version of the same binary but on other platform will mean that we will have different hashes. Well, that's probably not the way I wanted it to behave. As long as we're using the same version 3.20, which is having set of hashes, like this hash for Mac, another hash for Linux, and so on, I want it to be interoperable between different platforms. Okay, now I have deleted this one, and as I can see, a .terraform log HCL file. Well, apparently this is gonna to be added inside of gitignore. So gitignore should have Terraform log HCL added here. Well, that's first thing to do. It's first module where I add this. So what it means, let's see, is there any other file which can be used, like Terraform 123. Should I make some stars in it? No, different file extensions? Probably not. So I will see if this is gonna to be changed. The point is that I don't have to track this Terraform log HCL version inside of module. But if you're using this module and you want to make sure that you are using specific version of provider, you have to have this inside of your root module or place where you call these modules from. So, okay, let's do git commit -a -m. What I did here was simplify conditional check. Well, simplify, at least for me it seems simplification. Maybe some people will disagree, but I think it's just easier to work with Kolesk in most cases. So git push, okay, I now push this version, and if I go to git and I click refresh, I see my awesome change to be published here. Kolesk is awesome. Cool, so then let's merge it. Let's merge it, and it will affect a few issues, like 0.16, because it's backward compatible. It means that I don't have to release any major version, right? Right. So squash. We are still missing proper GitHub Actions check, so that's why I'm doing it cowboy style. But okay, so what I do now, just git release master. Okay, so while it's doing this, I can go here and say thanks, and this was released. well, actually, it has not been released yet, because suddenly my shell script is not responding, so I will not post this comment yet. Okay, right, yeah, I see that it's processing, but it just takes a little bit time. I don't know why. Okay, so now it's done. So now let's look into what other issues can be closed. And sometimes it's really important to go through issues because several repetitive issues are quite common. Well, this solution is rather similar, but he is doing it for other modules. He's doing it for assumable role. Yeah, right. Okay, so I get the point, and let's go to the code again. Well, now this version has solution. So now let's just look into how this can be done. Let's say if I search for number of in other modules, and I want to fix it everywhere. Okay, that's it. Problem fixed. So it's only in one place? Ah, no, right. It's actually in two places. First one is where I fix it, and the second one is number of custom role policy IRNs. Well, for that one, again, I need to do the same fix, so I will just do GitHub PR checkout. I think it's 116. Yeah. Well, I don't have to take into account that pull request, because that pull request is a little bit destructive. It's doing a little bit too much. It's not thinking about backward compatibility, so it will be better to just make my own. So fix number of policies. Okay, and the solution for that one is pretty much the same as here. Okay, so number of custom policy IRNs is used only in one place. So I can just copy this stuff here. Well, I could do the same there as well, but I don't know why I was a little bit lazy maybe. Okay, so var and so if create role, number of custom role policy IRNs, where is it? Here is it. So again, the point is the same. So we do Koaleski from this one. Where is this? Right. Yeah. Another thing is, just want to show the difference here. So we'll copy it into one place and explain it. So as you can see, these two lines, 78 and 81, they are rather similar and they do very similar things. The difference here is that in first case we use element, and in second case we use index or access by index. So what it means is that the second line, this one, will fail if we try to access out of range. So if role policy IRNs has two keys and we access key number 3, then it will just fail. While element is good for that. Element will be able to access element which is index number 3, even if it doesn't exist there. The way how it will do is that it will simply reset counting. So it will take 0, 1, 2, and then 3 will be element number first. So it's very handy if you don't really know what exactly will be provided. Then you want to use element. It's like distribution. Here it's used, well, it's okay. There is no big deal to change it. So again, here is number. It should be null. And let's look into example. It was assumable role. So inside of assumable role, there is also number of, yeah, cool. So this example is perfect. So I will just go to this example. No, I am, what is it? Assumable role. And I have to clean Terraform folder because it's ancient. So now it will be working as expected because this is previous behavior. I have not changed anything here. But if I now remove this one, it should count the same value of 2 because there are 2 custom role policy IRNs. Well, and let's actually try this a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to actually make policy. So let's pretend that I want to make not just assumable role, but I also want to make policy using this module. So I will simply take example from another place. Well, that's a good example, right? Policy from data source. Well, this is good policy. Okay, so what I want to do now is that I will use not fixed list of IRNs because that was always working. Now let's verify that module policy IRN can also be sourced module.impolicy.irn is sourced from this module. Okay, so I'm calling submodule, and now it's not 2 but it's 3. So now if I run init first, because I need to get impolicy module, yeah, it would be actually smart to test it before merging previous pull request too, but well. So as you can see, it was able to do this thing now without any problem, because well, that's how it works now. So module IAM policy creating policy, and then we don't know this IRN by the time. But for Terraform, it's not important to know IRN, it's important to know number of it. So it knows that, hey, there will be 3 items. Cool. So now let's do a little bit destructive thing. So I want to delete it completely, and I want to recreate it from scratch. So now I don't have policy, roles, nothing. So, and what if I want to do apply now? Because partial creation was a solution which we had before, and as you can see, it works. Magic. It means that I can just show source code of security group module, which is one of the complicated thing which I have ever written in open source. And here you can see a lot of things like number of. It's a lot. So there are 10 different variables, so 10 different resources where number of is used. So it's a lot. So imagine that we can simplify this twice. Okay, as you can see, it's duplication. Then it is possible to simplify it because now we can use null, which means that we can also simplify it, well, at least 4 times. Well, it's actually quite interesting resource. So we have 22 resources, So approximately 20 of those resources are related to security group rule. Okay, yeah, right. So 20 of them. What it means is that if we are able to remove half of these because we don't need number of, then we have 10. Then we need to remove 75% of them. So it will be, well, approximately 3 resources related to AWS security group rule. I think it's quite cool. So going down from 20 security group rule resources to 2, 3 is a very good achievement, and then this code maybe will become maintainable, because I have not been able to understand it for quite a long time. I don't know, it works and I use it myself in few projects, but it's not very easy to work with. So anyway, let's put this here, policies here. It shows us how this can be done. I think it's quite cool, so let's merge it. So now it will just delete things, and what I do here, right, okay, I should run, yeah, that's pre-commit run a. Well, the point is that I run pre-commit run before, just because I don't want to commit many times, and it's just faster to run pre-commit separately from all other scripts which I run. So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, because maybe it's not so obvious for some of you. So please don't hesitate to ask. Okay, so let's, yeah, formatting failed because here is change. So now Terraform validate is going to fail probably a lot, because newest version of Terraform will require recreation of .terraform folder, but I can show you how I work around it. Yeah, exactly. Could not load plugin. Past. Cool. So the way how I can do, I can pass this. Let me show it. So I go to the root of this module, or of this repository, and here I just run Terraform, which, and yeah, which, and run. So a run Terraform for me is just going recursively and delete all .terraform folders, so that I'm able to run from a clean state every time. I have to run it periodically when I do big update, and I don't want to just delete .terraform in 10 different places. So Terraform FMT is going to pass this time, because it has changed already some code. But Terraform validate may still fail, because there are some interesting bugs which I even don't know how to explain, but these bugs are rather phantom, so I cannot fix them yet. But also, if you're watching this stream and you want to help somehow with any of these projects, please reach out to me, because as you can imagine, I cannot just scale myself. Really, that's the biggest problem for me. There are so many interesting things going on in open source, plus none of this open source work is actually paid by users of it, so it's really hard for me to figure out where to find time. So if you want to help with any of the projects like modules or pre-commit Terraform, please let me know. Pre-commit Terraform is one of these projects which many people use, but seems like no one wants to spend time and actually look into issues or maybe help reviewing them. Okay, so Terraform validate will take some time. Approximately it takes about, well, how much time it takes? I think about 4 or 5 seconds per folder. So if there are, no, 2-3 seconds per folder. So if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8 folders here, then, well, and I can see the Terraform log file is everywhere. So Terraform is really working in all of these folders. So you can imagine that there are about 16 folders and still one folder failed. So the way how to work around this is that I have to delete .terraform just in this folder, and then it will work. The point here is that Terraform seems to me sometimes cannot figure out that the same file, the same Terraform provider AWS, has been already in use by some other process. And that's why it just, if you run a lot of Terraform validate hooks at the same time, then 1 out of 10 will fail. But if I run it again, most likely it will be all right. Well, I don't want to run it just now, so I will just put git commit -a -m. And what is it? No, that's what I did this time. It's fixed number of policies in which module. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Everywhere, right? There is. Okay, so git push origin fix number. Let's open pull request. And if I share this screen now, okay, so here is the fix. Documentation was automatically updated. Custom role policy IRNs written correctly. Okay, so here I just need to say that it's also closes 116 and squash Okay, so now this one is closed. Let's look into releasing this one. So if I run my magic script to release it, I'm looking forward to have this a little bit outside from my machine at some point and use GitHub Actions. So maybe it will simplify a little bit. But at the same time, running the same script with one command is not the hardest part to do. So this one is out now. So now let's look into Okay, what else is here? Well, the rest is not related. Oops, wrong click. So what else is related here? Well, not much. Okay, cool. So then this one was so I can close this one. Well, actually a lot of things closed. Okay, let's move on to something else. This one is about CloudFront, and CloudFront has been used by some people. I'm really happy with it, because when I started working on this module, I didn't use it myself so much, so I was not missing this code. But I was planning to write this module for several years, so I'm really glad that it's actually in use by some people. Okay, so what is this pull request about? The pull request is about change origin, access identity, output types. Well, yeah, that's a little bit tricky to explain, but the point is that there can be multiple there can be multiple origin access identities. So OAI, oh my god, origin access identities, what is it in first place? It's an entity inside of AWS which describes which is used to connect CloudFront to other let's say S3 bucket. If you can specify that you want to use origin access identity on CloudFront and on S3 bucket, then you can make sure that S3 bucket is only available by CloudFront, which is very handy in many situations when you want to guarantee that your access is going only through one place. So here is my thoughts about this pull request. Well, first of all, I see this pull request for the first time, and what I want to verify is that so here is only change to the output, right? And currently a map of origin access identities with IDs and IRNs are available. The outputs are needed, but the names give the wrong idea of the type to expect. Well, yeah, that's always a challenge. Naming is hard here. Well, breaking changes. This PR will break current implementations. Well, I don't think there are a lot of users who are using it, and this solution here will have to be updated to something like this. Well, okay, I like it myself. And yeah, he updated examples, so yeah, pretty cool. Okay, let's read this code. I don't want to create CloudFront distribution just because it takes 10 minutes. So I will execute this code in my head, and I'm quite sure I will be able to understand. So first of all, there is new resource or new output. Okay, and this output is creating list of so this thing is the same as or similar to this one. Okay, this one. So yeah, I've had I've had maps, and now he has created map for this entity and list for another entity. Well, it's pretty good. I don't see any issues here myself. So what I can do here is just look into, check out locally. Okay, I can share my screen. So cd CloudFront. It was issue number PR number 6. Cool. Not many issues there. So maps to list. Cool. What else I want to verify here? Well, first thing is that I want to add the same thing to gitignore, and now I have to add it to all modules, which is fine to do at some point. And if I go to examples, and here what I want to do is that I want to just run Terraform validate, just to make sure that syntax is okay. And for that one, of course, I need to do the same rm Terraform, because it's just everywhere. All of this .terraform folders are getting old. And by the way, all Terraform AWS modules are compatible with Terraform 0.14 already. So you can use them if you want to experiment with 0.14.0. So success, cool. And if I run Terraform plan, the point is that plan may show a little bit more than validate, but not so much in this case. Cool. I'm not gonna to execute it because it's gonna to just work. Add it to git ig. Okay. But still, pre-commit hooks want to be executed, so that should be fine. Okay, I think this will be, yeah, is. Oh, cool. Well, I need to make this a little bit smaller, I guess. How to do this? Okay, anyway, the question is there is any your favorite universal git ignore file? Well, universal git ignore file, I have one inside of my my root, well, inside of my, where is it? I don't even remember. .git ignore, I guess, this one. Yeah, this one is pretty big. I don't think I ever touched it during last several years. It's even from the times when I worked with Symfony 2, which was, well, more than 5 years ago, and then Python, Node, a bunch of other things which are pretty general. So that's why when people open PRs and say like, hey, we need to add .ds store or some of these things, I say, guys, please read about global git ignore and add these things there, because they're not specific to the project itself. So yeah, I'm using this file which is there for quite a long time, and then I add extra things depending on the project. So Terraform projects usually contains just these 5 things. This git ignore is public. The one which is in my local, well, it doesn't contain anything interesting, honestly. It's this stuff I don't think is even needed anymore because I don't work with it. But yeah, there are some files inside of GitHub git ignore repository. Let's look into that one. Oh my god, 111,000 stars. That's a lot. Yeah, right. Okay, so yeah, there is a project called git ignore with a lot of different things by the community. Well, I don't think it's a lot of point to use all of them, or just to exclude a lot of things, because you still want to have pretty decent control of what is it. So I'm not alone with idea of global git ignore. Yes, absolutely. So global git ignore is a way to actually separate what is meaningful for this project or for this technology where you work with. Maybe you work with some programming language where you don't want to exclude your TF state file, for example, because your TF state is actually stored inside of Git, right? That's how we may do 0-day provisioning when we don't have anything and we need to create S3 bucket and DynamoDB table. We still need to keep TF state file somewhere. So it's really important to know what is excluded. Maybe there are some by the community, let's see, Terraform or something like Terraform. Well, I don't see. AWS, interesting. SAM, well, that's pretty meaningful, right? AWS SAM, ignore build folder. Anyway, feel free to look into this project. This is one which I took inspiration from according to my comments in this file, but yeah, that's one. Okay, and another one, auto update. Let me just run this one more time. So the point is that there were some breaking changes inside, not breaking, but some improvements between these versions. So I want to commit it as well. I can do this amend, no problem. Git push origin. This is already fork. So I can just git push and it will be pushing to the right pull request automatically. Cool. Right, you don't see my screen. Oh, sorry. That's typical me. I'm sharing something and talking about other things. Okay, so here is this pull request where 7 files changed. The code itself was pretty good. Nothing else to talk about. Well, it says refactor. I'm not sure that I understand the meaning of all of these prefixes here. I know fix and fit, which is feature. That's it. And I use these two, sometimes even mixing them because I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, is it fix or is it feature? It depends, and I don't want to think about this. So I really want some tool to take into account, and then it will figure out that, hey, this is actually breaking change. Okay, so nevertheless, this pull request is amazing as everything what is happening in the open source, and I will just merge it. And I'm gonna to release it. Git checkout master, and what I need to do, git release master. Okay, I think we don't have time left for anything meaningful, which means I will be working on some other issues myself. Specifically, I will show a few issues which I'm interested in, and I really wanted to work on them before. Well, to be honest, I wanted to make a surprise that when AWS announced container support for Lambda functions, I knew about this release in advance, so I wanted to make code ready, and I wanted to release it pretty much instantly or as soon as possible. The point was that it was about 10 o'clock my time in the evening, and I thought like, no problem, I will find something else in AWS reInvent releases which I can work on and have day zero support inside of modules. So maybe next time I will be a little bit faster. But anyway, a container support for Lambda functions is amazing, and I can show how this can be done from the Terraform module perspective. So this pull request was open, right, you can see it, was open pretty much, I think it was open in the morning, so I woke up and, no, it was open in the evening. Anyway, I woke up and then I saw that, oh, okay, somebody actually wrote this code to create Lambda functions using container images. And then I looked into this code and, well, I found some things which can be improved, and I will definitely improve them before merging. And then I was thinking like, okay, how do we actually want to work with Lambda functions, and how can we make this quite effectively? AWS is telling us that, hey, there is a serverless application model which we all at some point will have to use, and well, maybe we will, maybe not. It's a bit, it depends. There are many other alternative solutions which can be used as well. So I'm not really convinced that I need to drop everything and just invest into serverless application model even if it's looking promising. So what I was thinking is that we can do here two things. So first is that we call this Lambda module and we create all the resources like function, and then we specify that our container image is actually placed here. But what if I show how to make end-to-end process of creating container image? Let's say using your local Docker instance or Docker build will run locally, and then you push this Docker image into this public, or not public, sorry, private, or it can be public as well, ECR, and then you use this module to load this Docker image from this ECR. So literally, developer write code and then run Terraform apply, and then Docker is executed on local machine, image is built, pushed to ECR, Lambda function is created using Terraform module, and you have endpoint which you can hit, for example. So all of this end-to-end thing is really interesting for me to show, and I have one project where I occasionally do this. I will invest a little bit more time into this one because I need to show it to a little bit bigger audience than on my streams. The point is that here I have the Terraform folder where I describe some things like how to connect different resources, but I also explain how to import data into DynamoDB using just Terraform. Well, there are a few resources like this, DynamoDB table item, for example, and in-memory backend. So you can look into some things here. So to build images, I mentioned actually this project last time, and if you're using Terraform Docker provider, or if you're using Docker and you want to use it with Terraform, then I highly recommend to look at this Terraform provider. Despite the fact that it's using two watchers and 2 stars, it means that this is just very new project. It has moved from one organization to another, but it was used and it was in development for many years actually. Yeah, for several years. So the point here is that Docker provider has, so let me scroll to the working example. Here is it. You tell that you want to build Docker registry image, and you specify what name of image it has to be inside of that ECR, and you provide some build context. So by default, it will look for Docker file in your location. So overall, this in this situation allows us to build image, push it, deploy Lambda function, all using one command, Terraform apply. I think it's cool. Well, you may think that you need some bigger tools like serverless framework or SAM, or you like your Packer. Well, if you already have all of this, that's fine. But I like to think when I don't have anything and I don't need to manage it. Terraform doesn't require any management. So it's one of cool idea that you can use one tool and it has a bunch of providers which can be integrated. Okay, on this I think that's pretty much it what I want to say. So next week we'll have Sebastian who will talk and we'll discuss and we will hear your questions, guys, about Terraform CDK. Or CDK Terraform, how it's better to call it, I don't know. So please join next week and we can talk about that. Okay, that's pretty much it from my side. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.